Before I begin, be sure to like the video and leave a comment on what you think of it. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to keep up with further audiobook readings.
Chapter 4: What Cash Flow Insurance Really Means. So what exactly is cash flow insurance, the financial strategy at the core of the Rockefeller method? It is a very particular and specific way of setting up whole life insurance policies that allows them to be supercharged. It is a way to grow your money almost effortlessly and to have it work for you without having to worry about market losses. It is a banking system that gives you stability, security, and liquidity. Before Garrett knew the phrase cash flow insurance, he actually bought an insurance policy and set up a similar system without really knowing what it was. Garrett was looking to buy a new car, and he noticed that the previous year's models that were still on the lot were selling at lower prices with killer incentives. He found a deal that allowed him to save $262 per month by leasing rather than buying the car with a 60-month loan. So he took the deal and he put that extra $262 a month into an insurance policy. With the extra money, plus what he was saving on taxes, after 39 months, Garrett was able to pull the cash out of the policy and pay off the residual value of the car to become the owner. Then Garrett took the money he would have spent on car payments and instead made a payment into his policy every month until his policy loan was paid off and the money was back in his policy. From that day forward, every car Garrett bought he could finance himself and pay the interest back to himself rather than giving that money to a bank. It didn't matter what his credit score was, it was a completely private loan. And moreover, he now had money growing on a tax-favored basis. That was the beginning. When Garrett started an internship with Guardian Life, he started to learn a little bit more about cash flow insurance. He read Nelson Nash's book, The Infinite Banking System, one of the first published pieces about how to use the cash value inside your life insurance policy to accelerate wealth creation. Wanting to learn more, he called Nash and had him fly out to Utah, where Garrett spent 2 days interviewing him. After spending some more time investigating this concept, we had Nash fly out again and talk to a small group of people. At the same time, both of us were going through a program on the economics of life insurance, reading all sorts of books on the subject, and traveling across the country studying it in depth. By this point, we had heard the phrase infinite banking with whole life. As we began to look at the other uses of life insurance beyond just financing and creating our own bank, we began developing this into a way to produce economic independence through what is called cash flow insurance. Garrett started to discover ways to increase cash flow now and in the future. There were so many other methods and strategies to find money and create safety and stability. We were already paying less in tax on earnings. We weren't losing our money if the market started to go down, and if anyone decided to sue either of us, or if there was ever a possibility of bankruptcy, our money was fully protected. As you read more in the book, you will see there are exit strategies with business, capital gain assets, or even ways to increase the cash flow from your other assets due to the death benefit that you acquire with whole life insurance. There are new provisions with the right companies that can eliminate the need for long-term care insurance. Strategies continue opening up as we focus on building and creating cash flow rather than accumulating for 30 years into the future or until age 65. As retirement planning teaches. Using this new cash flow insurance system as the centerpiece of the Rockefeller method, where you can set up a family bank, boost your cash flow, and reduce your risk, is what we want to share with you in this book. Cash flow insurance has 3 key points. 1. It safeguards your wealth. 2. It helps you grow your money and increase your cash flow. 3. It helps you enjoy your money today and tomorrow. In finance, we're usually taught that it's all about accumulation. We're taught that accumulating money for the long haul is the only way to grow wealth. However, cash flow insurance allows you to both prepare for the future and live wealthier today. And in fact, cash flow is far superior to accumulation as a wealth-building strategy. Think of the Amazon River, a huge flowing body of water full of life, with whole civilizations built around it because of the richness of water that is constantly flowing and moving. Then, on the opposite end of the spectrum, think of the Dead Sea. No flow, no motion, and no life at all. That's the difference between the flow of cash flow and the stagnation of accumulation. Accumulation entails setting money aside in an investment vehicle and hoping that it grows. Cash flow, on the other hand, means that you're keeping your money working. You can see what's happening with your cash flow and improve it. Cash flow means your money is tangible, coming in consistently, and that it is a reality today. It is recurring revenue, and it means that you can tell immediately whether your cash flow system is working. Because if the cash flow stops, you'll know right away that there's a problem with the investment. With accumulation, you more or less just have to hope that it works 30 years from now. Financial institutions have an agenda. 1. They want our money. 2. They want our money on a regular basis. 3. They want to hold onto our money for as long as possible. 4. When it comes time to go get our money, they want to pay it back to us as slowly as possible. Every product and service that financial institutions offer serves that agenda. It took Michael 4 years to surrender to this fact. He questioned every product and service that was available. "What about this?" Michael would ask. "What about that? Well, what if they did this?" Every single time it met their agenda. Do we get a benefit from those products and services? Yes, we do, but it is not meeting our full financial potential. Cash flow insurance, when properly understood and utilized, on the other hand, does meet our full potential when incorporated into everything else that we are doing with our money. Now, there are alternatives to cash flow insurance in terms of saving and accumulating money. We've seen people do really well in municipal bonds. However, right now, we are at one of the scariest times for municipal bonds that this country has ever seen. Some municipalities have defaulted on bonds, something that is almost unprecedented in this country's history. Orange County had a derivatives crisis and was going to default on their bonds, which changed bond rates for the whole state of California. Detroit defaulted as well. All of a sudden, what was once considered a very safe investment doesn't seem so safe anymore. And in fact, what's most risky about municipal bonds is that if interest rates go up, which they will likely do, then the value of the bond goes down. That's called capital depreciation, meaning you could lose principal value in your bond. If, on the other hand, your money is inside an insurance policy that you've overfunded, once dividends are declared, you have no capital depreciation risk. Permanent life insurance as the foundation of your cash flow insurance system stacks up extremely well when compared with other savings and investment vehicles. Saving accounts, certificates of deposit, checking accounts, money marketing accounts at brokerage firms, all of these offer some level of safety and liquidity. However, in order to be at all liquid, these accounts have a low yield. The highest yielding 5-year CD rates available are just a little over 2%, and even that requires minimums of $25,000 to $100,000. It is not easy to get a decent rate of return on a savings or investment vehicle that also provides you with protection. A cash flow insurance system, however, has all of those features, plus a higher rate of return. A cash flow insurance policy is a bit like a savings account with proper nutrition, exercise, and sleep. It has the conditions to perform better. A cash flow insurance policy is contractually guaranteed to grow at 4% interest. That's 400 to 1,000% of what a typical savings account currently provides. Above and beyond that, your non-guaranteed dividends can push up your returns even higher, which is why it's critical to overfund. Moreover, cash flow insurance policies are quite liquid, which more traditional money vehicles like CDs or real estate are not. Many deferred, qualified plans don't allow you to access your money, or if you do, you have to pay a 10% penalty and or pay taxes on the money you take out at your ordinary tax rate. Cash flow insurance allows you to have access to your money without penalties and with tax advantages, so you can take advantage of that deal of a lifetime when it comes along. You should be able to have access to your money for whatever reason you need it, whether it's a vacation to Italy or buying your dream home. Now, whole life insurance is not the only vehicle you can use to save money and borrow from yourself, but no savings vehicle has the same benefits as cash flow insurance. Retirement plans could work because you can borrow from them, but there is no guarantee of principal without moving to a money market at a very low interest rate. There's also no death benefit. There are strict limits on how much you borrow and on the schedule for paying the loan back, plus no ability to fund extra above the loan amount and thereby capture interest for yourself. Savings accounts at a bank could work, but they are currently paying less than 1% interest. Certificates of deposit and certain types of bonds offer better returns and are fairly well guaranteed, but would create penalties if you were to liquidate. There are some cases where you can get a line of credit or loan against a CD, but this still lacks key advantages since it will still be a lower interest rate. We also don't like leaving money in a CD or a money market because it's subject to taxes, to creditors, and to low interest rates. Cash flow insurance offers a consistent, guaranteed return along with powerful tax advantages and significant liquidity. With cash flow insurance, it doesn't matter if interest rates go up or down, because when you have your cash value and your dividends have been paid, you are guaranteed a minimum interest rate. That means you won't have capital depreciation. You won't lose principal. You'll have stability and predictability. For Garrett, as a business owner, that stability and predictability is priceless. He is constantly looking at opportunities, and having a cash flow insurance system allows him to take advantage of those opportunities. Garrett's bought into businesses, he's paid off real estate and credit cards, and he's bought a TV studio and video equipment for his business. He's used his cash flow insurance policy over and over. He's found a way to recapture all the insurance costs he has through his cash flow insurance policy. Moreover, if an insurance company goes out of business, your money is much more likely to be secure than it would be at a different type of institution. When Executive Life went out of business in the 1980s, no policyholder lost money because another insurance company acquired all the accounts without having to pay commissions to build that book of business. And even if an insurance company goes out of business and another company doesn't buy it out, every state in the country has guarantees on death benefits and the cash value in policies. Overall, insurance companies are much more stable and predictable than pretty much any other financial institution out there. As mentioned, the particular vehicle used for cash flow insurance is an overfunded whole life insurance policy, a permanent insurance policy set up not for a set period of time, but for the whole of your life. If you live to 120, this policy still works. Life insurance policies were once incredibly common. After World War I, there were nearly 120 million life insurance policies in effect in the United States. That's about one for every U.S. citizen at the time. People had these policies not just for the death benefit, but also for the cash value. They were so common that they even showed up in the movies. In It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart's character bargains with his adversary using the cash value of his whole life insurance policy. We both like to get as much life insurance as an insurance company will offer on our lives, and we like to put in as much extra cash as they'll allow us. Once we've done that, we will insure our wives' lives in the same way, then our kids, and even our business partners. Then, once the money moves above a certain threshold that we have set for ourselves, above what we need for our individual bullet fund or war chest, we decide where and when we are going to use that cash. For an entrepreneur, a cash flow insurance policy is most effective when used as an opportunity fund or war chest. It provides liquidity when you need it, and when you need the money, you don't need to write a business plan or go explain the opportunity to a banker. All you have to do is fill out a form, and within 48 to 72 hours, a check shows up. We've used it to pay off loans, to finance businesses, to do hard money loans, to secure inventory at a discount, to put down payments on real estate, or even to buy out partners in real estate. Then, once we've used the money on one of these opportunities, we pay ourselves back as quickly as possible at a very high interest rate, whatever the highest interest rate is that we've been charged, and thereby grow the money that is inside that policy. Recently, one of Michael's clients, who is a doctor, called up wanting to purchase a new X-ray machine for his practice. Remembering the cost of expensive equipment leases, he structured a policy loan to reflect a past lease. The $30,000 loan was ordered from the life insurance company with the signing of a paper. He purchased the X-ray machine, and his corporation will make the monthly payments. And the whole time, he will be recapturing those high interest rates that in the past he was paying to someone else. The last equipment loan we analyzed had 19% interest, and that's common. Think for a moment about all the costly, high-interest loans you've paid on in the past. Imagine for a moment having all that money in an account with all the interest you paid. Yes, that is possible, and there will be plenty of ways to utilize this in your life moving forward, just like the doctor did. Once your policy has built enough cash value, usually after 1 or 2 years, you can take out a loan against your policy at any time and for any moment up to the cash value. Notice that we said against, not from. When you take out a loan from your cash flow insurance policy, you're not borrowing from your policy, but against it. Therefore, your policy continues to grow as if you hadn't taken out a loan at all, because you're not actually taking any cash out of the policy. Moreover, you will never have to rush to pay back the loan. In fact, most insurance companies don't care if you miss a payment, or several payments, or even if you pay them back at all, because if you don't pay them back, all that happens is the balance is deducted when your death benefit is paid out. Now, with that said, we will always encourage you to pay back the loan, allowing that money and more to be used for future loans. Moreover, borrowing from your cash flow insurance policy will never affect your credit, since there are no such things as late payments. Additionally, if the loan is for your business, in most cases, the interest you pay on it is tax deductible. A cash flow insurance system is considered a private account. If you have a child going to college, it won't affect your child's ability to get student loans. If the government changes the laws on retirement plans, it won't impact your money. When owned properly, a cash flow insurance policy can enable you to pass more money onto other generations without incurring estate taxes. Cash flow insurance gives you a much better rate than what banks are offering, and your cash and death benefit is protected from lawsuits and bankruptcy in 40 of the 50 states. It allows you quick access to loans without credit checks, it provides tax-free money in retirement, and it allows capital preservation without risking principal. Cash flow insurance has not only an excellent internal rate of return, which is the direct return of a particular investment and only that investment, but an excellent external rate of return, a term that describes all the factors affected by an investment, including what it allows you to accomplish, tax savings, eliminating insurance costs, your mindset, your quality of life, and additional byproducts produced by your involvement in that investment. Cash flow insurance impacts both the internal and external rate of return because it is about putting your whole financial house in order. It's about finding and fixing money leaks and learning to track and monitor your finances so you know exactly where your money is flowing. There are many ways to do this, up to and including an old-fashioned handwritten ledger. But my recommendation is to use a free online tool called Mint, which can be found at mint.com, and which is an easy and effective tool for tracking finances. All you need to do is set up an account, put in your banking account information, and Mint will track all of your spending and generate reports, charts, and other organized information to help you understand the flow of your money. There are other online tools as well, including Quicken and bank websites. Whatever tool you decide to use, get started as soon as possible and start upping your external and internal rates of return.